All right, here we go. How is everyone this morning, this afternoon, tonight, whatever? Who knows? Who knows where everybody is? All right, so we've got some great topics to cover today, all about transforming your life, and we know where that starts, all up here. So I want this to be interactive. I want you guys to comment. Okay, we're going to do this in two parts. Part 1 will be the first hour and part 2 will be the second hour. In between, we will take a 5-minute break. Those of you who have done my other workshops knows how this goes. That's just so you can go to the toilet, get a cup of tea, coffee, drink, whatever, deal with kids, deal with family. Okay, so if you need to step out, by all means, step out. This is going to be uploaded to YouTube, and I will send the links to everyone via email. Okay, so enjoy, but please comment. Please be interactive. It's much more fun that way than just sitting back, listening and watching and just taking everything in. If you've got a question, by all means, comment your question. We're here to learn together. With the information I'm going to give today, it is from my own personal experience as well as what I've learned from others. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. We've got some wonderful, wonderful topics, which I only got an hour ago, or about 45, no, scratch that, about an hour and a half ago. You got to get it right. So, yeah, I don't know who gave them to me. I just said, right, what are we talking about? And it all came flooding. So I don't normally get information about the workshops until it's, within an hour, 2 hours of actually doing it. So no preparation, it just all comes flowing out. So I hope you guys enjoy this today and use it to your benefit. Take what resonates and leave the rest with everything, okay? So the first topic I want to cover, and it is the absolute most important topic of life itself. Okay, I just fix this, it's annoying me. I got a bit of OCD sometimes. Okay, the first topic is the importance of controlling your mind. Why is this important? Well, if you don't control your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, your anxieties, your anger, everything else, then sorry, life is going to suck. Put it simply, life is going to be really hard and you're going to be triggered beyond belief. You're going to be reactive. You're going to listen to react instead of listen to understand. It's really important to control your thoughts. Okay, controlling your mind is the key to life. It is absolutely the key to life, because if you don't, you know where you're going. That whole saying, up a certain creek without a paddle. Yes, this is what we're doing. People that can't control their mind or don't want to control their mind usually end up with addictive behaviors, with getting into fights, arguments, very emotional depression, those sorts of things. So it's to a happy, healthy life and to be successful in life in whatever you do, it's really important. How do we do that? How do we control our mind? And why would you want to control your mind in every situation? Okay, so how do we do it? Best thing is to control the urges. Okay, now what is an urge? An urge is something that you want to do in the spare of the moment. Okay, you just have that urge to do it. I have to do it, I have to do it. But why? Why? I'll give you a quick example. If somebody says to me, right now, this very second, Sky, you're an idiot and you've got no idea what you're talking about. If I didn't have control of my mind, I could turn around and lash out at that person. I could turn around and say a whole bunch of obscenities and you know nothing of what you're talking about and I've done all this research, blah, 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 and really defend myself. And it's not always coming from ego, believe it or not. It's coming from a lack of self-control. Okay? Simply a lack of self-control. A couple of bush turkeys running past. Glories of doing it out in a park, a wildlife park. There's wildlife everywhere. Okay, so it is literally a lack of self-control, and we always view somebody as lashing out or defending themselves as ego, and it's not always the case. Okay, in a lot of spiritual circles that is the case. I know this, it's the spiritual narcissism, it's the spiritual ego. But in general life, with family, friends, colleagues, all that sort of thing, just people on the street that you meet, it's often they don't have control of their mind. Okay, so if you're going to react to everything negatively that is said and positive, you're creating a reality that is not of your highest purpose. That's not going to be successful for you. That's not going to lead you somewhere. So it's really important to not react. So I'll give you another quick example. We all know, okay, we're waiting for notifications for redemption appointments to come out. We all know that. It's just an example. When the appointments come out, if we're all jumping for joy and posting on social media, oh, I'm so happy, so excited, and blah, 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 boom, we've just violated our NDA. Okay? That is a lack of self-control. Okay? Lack of controlling your mind. Okay? What's going to happen when you violate your NDA? You're going to lose your funding. Okay? This is why it's really important to go within and control yourself, okay, before you get yourself into trouble. So you're at a workplace, you're working in a team environment. For example, say you're a nurse and you're working in a team of nurses, and you don't like somebody because someone is, oh, I'm a nurse and I'm this and I'm that and blah blah blah, and you're really triggered by that. You can actually have a really bad time at your workplace with that person because you're not controlling your emotions, you're not controlling yourself. So you're allowing yourself to build up all this steam against this person. So at the end of the day, you're going home really mad and angry while that person's going home loving life. All right, so you're actually by not controlling your mind, you're creating work for yourself, you're creating hell for yourself. Now, one thing which I really like to watch and listen to is ex-military guys, especially special forces. They have a really great mindset, and we'll go into mindset in a minute. They control their mind. They have to, okay? They're running into battle zones where they got people standing there with guns pointing at them. If they allowed their mind just to go everywhere, they're going to die. They're going to die. Now, our situation is not life and death. Most of the time, 99% of the time, it's not life and death. If we allow ourselves to just have our thoughts going everywhere, and before you start to gain control of your mind, you realize that 98% of the time, your thoughts really are just flying around everywhere, unchecked, uncontrolled, like a wild horse. You know, the first time you put a lead on and it's bucking and rearing and pulling. Once you start realizing how much your mind has been wild, you start to realize that how chaotic your life has actually been. And when you start to gain control of your mind, every part of your life starts to come together. Things start to work out better. You start to have less arguments. You start to be more successful. You start to have seemingly more luck. It's just, it's just a natural part of getting control of your mind. Okay? Pardon me. So, if we are to look at how we control our mind, meditation is perfect. Absolute perfect. The more your mind goes thinking of everything else, the more meditation you need. Most people find meditation uncomfortable because their mind is going and they can't get control of it. That is why you do the meditation. To control your thoughts, control your mind so that you can silence your mind. Okay? Meditation's not just about spirit connection. It's not just about connecting with higher realms. It's about control. Now, a lot of spiritualists say for spirit communication, you have to release the control. Yes, but first you have to gain control of your thoughts. Okay? Without the control of your thoughts, you can't release control to higher frequencies. And it's the same with everyday life. If your mind is running round and round in circles, every person you meet, you're going to be in a chaotic state. And this is where many things will happen. Your life will be in a chaotic state. So if you want a peaceful life that runs smoothly with hardly any speed bumps or very little or few speed bumps, then you need to gain that control. Okay, now control in the mind is key. I cannot emphasize this enough. It is absolute key to dealing with every part of life, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the painful, and the horrific, and the celebrations. Okay, it is absolute key to life. And this is something that people don't quite get yet. Okay, be yourself, of course. You know, you absolutely have to be yourself. Say what's from your heart. Okay, many people get themselves in trouble because they just blurt out everything and they've got no filter. That is a lack of control. Okay, so it's really important, and to identify those who are coming from ego, those who are coming from a lack of self-belief, those who are coming from a lack of control. It's really important to identify those, because our thoughts and how we respond within ourselves to those people, it changes. It really does change. So if you're responding to someone that is coming full of ego, then you're going to be in your ego most of the time. Okay, that's just natural. Ego responds to ego. So lack of self-belief, over self-belief responds to lack of self-belief. So if you're meeting with someone who doesn't have any self-belief, you're going to overcompensate your own self-belief to bring them up, okay, to meet in the middle. This is just normal human consciousness. It's not even just human consciousness, it's consciousness in general. So if someone's being negative, okay, a lot of the time you either want to go more positive or drop down and agree with them. Okay, so this is where the control comes in. You need to stay neutral within yourself. Okay, do you guys have any questions or anything you guys want to add to that? Just chime in. Okay, just chime in. All right. Let me see. Okay, the same with sports people. If you're in a swimming race, for example, and you're, a couple of inches behind the leader and it's the final 20 meters or something, and you panic, what's going to happen? You're just going to flop around in the pool and you're not actually going to get any speed. If you control that panic, if you control that mind, then you'll be able to put the strength and the power into the strokes, which will get you to the finish line first, hopefully. Okay, so it comes in every day, every single part of life, and especially when you're met with abuse, especially when you're met with fear, anxiety, those sorts of things. That's when you absolutely need to stop before reacting. Calm yourself, take a deep breath and go, okay, what is it that I'm actually responding to? Is it within me? Do I need to respond? Okay, is a response necessary? Most of the time, no response is necessary. This is why a lot of people, when they make suggestions to me or something like that, I'll usually just give a thumbs up or a heart. It's like, I'm acknowledging, but I'm not reacting. So it's really, really important. Okay, meditation recommendations. I prefer non-guided meditation, so just music, especially if you're controlling your mind, because if you're following someone's voice, yes, you are controlling your mind, but you're being told what to focus on. Okay, so when you're trying to control your thoughts, just music, concentrate on your breathing and being just you. Okay, just being yourself, without the external voices telling you what to focus on. Something that I really like to focus on when my mind is going a million miles an hour is I put myself in a dark room in meditation. So the room is really, really black, and there is a tiny little light at the very, very end, And the more I focus, the smaller that light gets. The moment I lose focus, the light gets bigger. The more I focus, the smaller the light gets until it's literally invisible. Then I can start my meditation and release the control to the higher dimensions, because now they can come in instead of my brain thinking, what did I do last night? What do I have to do today? What am I going to talk about tomorrow? Who do I have a meeting with? What, this person said something nasty to me. This person did this. That person, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. And Spirit's sitting there going, get control so we can talk. And I'm like, I'm trying. I'm trying. And then all they do is laugh, and guess what? No control, no connection. It's that simple. Okay, so the spirit world is exactly the same here as the physical world when it comes to controlling your mind. Really important to understand that. Okay, you can't have a meaningful conversation with someone and be present during that conversation if your mind is out there thinking about what you're going to do in the next week, or what happened just before, or the fight you had with your partner or your child. Okay, control is everything. So any meditation music or any music that you feel puts you in the mood and will help you, that you resonate with, that can be proper meditation music, that can be piano music, that can be pop music, that can be heavy metal music. I know someone who meditates with heavy metal music, and I'm like, oh, I can't stand it, but it works for him. Absolutely works for him. Some people, nature sounds, some people, water sounds, running water, some people, flutes. Whatever resonates with you, there's absolutely no recommendations, because it's what works for you. Okay, not what works for me, what works for you. So experiment and try it out and see how you go. Okay, because what works for me may not work for you, what works for you may not work for me. So it's all a very personal thing. Sometimes just sitting there in absolute silence is perfect. And when you do get control of your thoughts, that's the best thing to do. Sit in silence, no music. You can have the TV going, the radio going, life going past. You can sit in the middle of a busy street in the middle of New York City, and nothing will sway your thoughts because you have control. Okay, that's the ultimate goal. One other thing that really helps me in meditation when my mind is going bananas is I imagine a military guy yelling at me in my face, literally screaming at me. They crack me up. That's why I could never join the military. They absolutely crack me up. And I always end up laughing and giggling. It's just insane. But what it does is every single time my mind loses its focus, they scream at me. So I bring my focus back. And they'll just stand there and stare at me for 10, 15, 20 minutes until I lose focus. Then they scream at me. Then I bring my mind back. So it's a really good exercise to have that discipline, that absolute discipline from a disciplinarian. That's a huge word for me. I can't believe I got that out the first time. Usually I'm going, okay, so there's many different things. You could be sitting on top of a mountaintop, like a yogi Buddha kind of person, on the top of Mount Everest, and that works for you. Okay, so it's whatever. How do you manage this? I know what I need to do, but I'm lacking the energy and desire to get on with things, like with meditating, especially first thing in the morning. Okay, when you're doing meditation, it's important to do it when you feel like it, when you feel it, when you're in the vibrational frequency of it. But at some point, there will come a time where you just don't want to do it. Okay, go do something else that's meditative in the garden. Prune the flowers, go walk the dog, go sit on the beach. That's also a meditative state, because what you're doing is you're getting into the vibration of being in the moment, being in the present, without all the external factors. So turn off the TV. What I would suggest is turn off the TV, go outside, go to the beach, go for a hike, because you're still focusing on what you're doing and you're blocking everything else out. So just make sure whatever you're doing, really be in the moment, okay? Be there. If you're going to do something, and this is with everything, if you're going to do something, then do it. For example, reading a book. Turn the TV off, turn the radio off, turn your phone off, and be there present to read the book, okay? If you're going to do exercises, okay, do them. Some people like music to help them through the pain because they're focusing on something else. I would say turn the music off, okay? Turn the music off and actually do the exercises. Feel the pain, because you're learning all different parts of your body. You're focusing on your muscles. Yes, you're still exercising and you're still achieving something, but it's becoming aware of the moment, okay? So remember, you don't have to set, it helps to set a specific time of day to do your meditative practice, whatever that may be, but it's absolutely not necessary. Oh, this wind, gonna blow everything away. So my meditations, I might meditate once a week. God knows what time. It could be 4 in the morning, it might be 7 at night, it could be 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, you don't need a set time. It helps so you get into a routine when you're first starting and when you're trying to get into a routine, but it's not necessary. You meditate when you feel you should, when you're drawn to do it. Okay, it's like resistance. If you approach or are approached by resistance, it takes control not to respond with resistance. Exactly right. And I can tell you this from my own experience with all these abusers from being scammed. If I was to respond to every single one of them and respond from not being able to control my thoughts, I would be a very unhappy person. Mind you, mostly I am. Mostly I'm okay. Sometimes it gets too much, and I'm still going through the process of controlling my thoughts in regards to this. But it does, the moment you respond to someone's negativity, you become that negativity. So it's best to just stop, take a breath. Do I need to respond to that? Does it need a response at all? Do I just delete and block? Do I put it away for a day or so until I feel better about it and have had time to process it and then respond? That's probably a better option. Depending on what the situation is. Okay, but if it's something negative and you feel that feeling coming up with inside you that's not positive and not from the heart, then put it to the side and then decide what to do with it when you've had time to process it. Okay, now it's a little bit harder when you're face to face with the person, okay, but what you can do is just, if someone's standing in your face and having a go at you or being rude to you or nasty, just go, thank you very much, but I'm not into this, okay? You can talk to me when you calm down. When you've had a break and had time to go over things, then come back and talk to me, but I'm not accepting this kind of behavior from you. And then turn around and walk away, okay? So some people would want to punch you in the face for turning your back on them, but you get the drift, okay? There's many different things that you can do, okay? You don't have to respond to someone being nasty or rude. So like painting by numbers, the adult version. Yes, I do painting by numbers all the time and diamond paintings to break my boredom. Most of the time I will put on a movie or a TV show or something that I've already watched, something like SAS Australia, where the ex-Special Forces guys, they are putting celebrities and civilians through Special Forces course. I've watched them all many times because I find it so inspirational and so easy to learn from. So I put it on in the background and I'm still picking up new things that I never noticed before. So while I'm actually doing something physical, I'm still learning and tuning into something else, okay? So you can also do that. Again, it's all about exploring and what works for you, okay? So I'll just have a drink. God, it's cold here today. It's supposed to be summer. It's supposed to be like 32, 33 degrees Celsius, and we're lucky if we reach 20. Who turned off the weather? Probably the deep state. But yeah, who turned off the weather? It's mental. All right, next topic, mindset. Okay, what is mindset? Simple. Is your mind in a positive, or is your mind in a positive direction? Is it in a negative direction? Is it in a grey direction? So you're really unsure. Okay, I'll just go quickly. I try to remember that what comes out of a person is what's inside of them and not about me. What do you think of me is none of my business. Absolutely. 100% absolutely. Constructive criticism, okay, when you ask for someone's opinion, as long as it's constructive, doesn't matter how they really say it, okay, because they're coming from their point of view, but you take it from what you need from it. If what they're saying is just nasty, okay, then see you later. Off on your horse and trot off. Okay, but if you can take something from what they're saying, then take it and use it for good, because sometimes it's not all about what we think, and it's not always about your opinion means nothing. Sometimes people have really, really good opinions and really good advice. However, one thing that gets my back up, and this is my ego, I'm going to admit 100% this is my ego, is when people message me and say, Sky, I think you need to do this. This is your problem. This is what I've noticed about you. You're doing this when you should be doing this. And I'm just like, see you later. Goodbye. Simply for the fact that unsolicited advice is not warranted or called for, okay? If there's something within that I can take, yes, I will be furious that they did it, but I will take it. I will still tell them to go and, you know what? But I would always take what I can from it. Because sometimes we don't see things about ourselves where other people do see it because they're not biased. Okay, so if you can take something from someone's criticism and use it for your own purpose, use it for good, brilliant, take it. You can still tell them to go and fly a kite, but take it, okay? Because sometimes it's actually spirit giving you those messages through other people, even though you haven't asked for it. Like myself, I would never ask for advice. I've asked for maybe 5 times, and none of the advice that I received is what was needed. It was all from their opinion, and it never actually worked. So I don't ask for people's advice. So when someone gives me advice just out of the blue, just messages me and says, Sky, you need to do this, or I'm noticing you're doing this, it's like, see ya. Okay, but that again is coming from ego, and we all have that. It's all a journey in itself, is to control the ego. That's just reality. Okay, so yeah, hate that. I'd have my defenses up too. Yeah, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It is as well, but some of the nastiest people that have messaged me has actually been the most useful, the most helpful. Some people have, wow, I can't even begin to tell you some of the messages I receive because they're just too graphic and violent. But you know, in each message there is actually something that I can take positive from it. So yeah, while they're throwing daggers at me, wishing me dead and eaten by crocodiles and chopped up into pieces and skinned like a fish and gutted, and some of it's actually positive. So just remember, how they say it is coming from them within themselves. Okay? Sometimes it is what is said. not how it is said. So this is where you have to really use your discernment. Okay. Yeah, I saw a post on Facebook yesterday and I had to comment. I just had to. It was something like, treat your children like children, don't spank them and don't humiliate them or bully them, and whatever. They will learn a lot more with compassion and empathy. Now, while this is true, that's not really how you get through life, through compassion and empathy. This particular lifetime is hard, and it's brutal, and it's hell. You're not going to survive healthily, if that's even a word. You're not going to survive through love and compassion. Okay, you're going to get through with pushing through the hate, pushing through the darkness. People are nasty. They're horrible. They are absolutely horrible. We are not like that, but people are like that. So we really have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Okay, once you're sitting in your comfort zone, you stop learning. Okay, some of my guides, I've been working with on my spirituality for just over 13 years now. They have been brutal. They have lied, they have deceived, they have cheated, they have treated me like a piece of something you trod in. And they've been very, very nasty. I have learned so much more from Satan than I have from Jesus. And that's a fact, literally. When I say Jesus and Satan, I mean negative and positive. Okay. So it's really about becoming resilient. And we're going to talk about mental resilience in a minute. It's really about learning through the good, the bad, the ugly, compassion, about becoming a warrior, a soldier, standing your ground, standing up for yourself, battling through life. It's not about sitting back in loves and kisses and chanting around a campfire. Maybe one day it will be, but we have to look at reality now. Okay, and it's nothing like that now. Now it's just plain nasty. So you really have to be able to have a thick skin. And you get a thick skin by going through it all, not by sitting on the couch watching. Okay, so it's just something that we really have to be aware of. Okay. I'm so sorry to hear that. Please don't be sorry to hear that. Okay, it has made me who I am today, and I'm proud of who I am today. Without that, I would not be where I am right now. You guys would not be listening to me rave on right now if I hadn't gone through that. So it's all for not only my benefit, but for yours as well. Things flying at me, attacking me. So please don't be sorry. It's a blessing. It really is. Yes, would I have rather to have good guidance from my guides and spirit and extraterrestrials and higher dimensional beings? Absolutely. I am so jealous of people that have loving, compassionate spiritual contact, because I don't get that. I get a beat around the head, a kick up the backside, thrown off a 20-story building, hit by a truck, all in the 1 minute. So, I would love to be able to sit back and say my guides and I have a great relationship, which we don't. We don't. Sometimes I cannot stand them and I tell them to go and get what. But at the end of the day, I would not be where I am today without them and the way they have treated me. So it's been a blessing. It really has. I wouldn't have it any other way. I wish it was some other way, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I thought your guides are supposed to be on your side. They are. Now remember, compassion comes in all shapes and forms. Okay? Compassion for spirit sometimes is throwing you under the bus. Okay? It's pushing you off that cliff edge. Okay? Sometimes it is not compassionate to hold someone's hand and guide them through. Sometimes it's more compassionate to throw them in the arena with the bull and let them work it out of how to beat the bull and how to get out of there than it is to tell them. All right, so don't think badly of my guides or anything. They're educating me the best way that I need to be educated for me personally, and that's with brute strength. Otherwise, I just would be sitting back in my chair going, yeah, you know what, I'm really not interested in this. Which I'm really not. I'm really not interested in spiritual connections. I do it because I can, not because I love it or I want to. If they were my guides, all nice and compassionate, I would never, ever, ever have got off my backside. But because my guides kick me up the backside as often as they can, that's why I'm here. Okay, the moment something gets hard, I tend to bail and say, you know what, I'm not putting up with this. No, too hard, see you later. That's what I used to do. Now, the moment I even think of that, my guides are bashing me around the head saying, you get that crap out of your head. That ain't gonna happen. No way. So I'm very confident that no matter what happens, I can keep on pushing through, and I have that mental courage, strength, and resilience to continue, because of the way that they have treated me. If they haven't treated me that way, I would still be sitting on the couch watching TV. Okay, not learning anything. All right. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Sometimes you got to throw the child in the pool to teach them to swim because they're too lazy to learn. Okay. Sometimes being not nice is the best form of being nice that you can. Okay, so it's good. Why do you think that is? Do you require that in this lifetime? Well, I think we just covered that. It's a good thing. Okay. All right, so, yeah, mindset. We got a bit off track there, but it's all relevant, so it's all good. So mindset, okay. Is your mind in a positive direction? Go away, ant. Oh, spider. Great. Is your mind moving in a positive direction, or are you looking backwards? Mindset, very important to how you walk through life. Okay, you've got the I'm going to do mindset, the I have no idea what I'm going to do mindset, and the mindset in the middle with, yeah, I want to do that, but I'm not sure. Okay, most people are in the middle. I want to do this, but I probably can't, or I won't be given the opportunity, so I just won't bother. I'll wait for something else that's not as good to come, and then I'll deal with that. I'll just take that, okay? That's why life doesn't work, okay? That's literally why life doesn't work. If you're in the middle, and I don't even want to go to the I don't know, because you're just setting yourself up to fail. By not having a positive mindset, at least in the middle, you've already failed. And there is no such thing as failure, so I shouldn't use that word, but you get my drift. You're just not turning up to the party. You're not turning up to life. So you're not going to be successful in life if you don't turn up to it, okay? So I want to talk about the middle of the I know what I want, but I'm not sure, and the positive, I know what I want, and I'm going to go get it, okay? About 70% of the population is in the middle. I know what I want, but I'm not sure. Okay? So if we talk about that frame of mind, we're looking at people who want things, they want to be successful, but they really won't be successful in what they want because they're not that willing to do what it takes to get there. Okay? So I'll use myself as an example. If you're new to my workshops, I always use myself as an example. It's easy. So I'll use myself with my horse riding. Okay, I started horse riding when I was 4 years old. I was competing in international competition by the age of 16. Okay, and so that was a high level against Olympic level competitors, and I was 16. If I just sat back on my horse, who was straight off the racetrack, and was actually barred from racing because he would buck the jockeys off straight after the opening the barriers, and tried to buck me off, bucked everybody off, got rid of everyone, sent a lady in hospital with a broken neck. If I gave up on him, I never, ever, ever would have got on the reserve team for the 2000 Olympic Games. Because it was too hard. If I gave up, it would have been because he is too hard. I'll find an easier horse to ride. That easier horse would never have taught me how to ride properly, would never have taught me to sit on a horse that was not just you push a button and it goes and it does whatever. I would never have been able to be on 3 reserve teams for 3 different Olympic Games on 3 different horses. I would have still been trotting around the arena in my comfort zone. Okay, you have to, if you want something, you have to be prepared to do what it takes. And that's the mindset. Okay, we're not talking about physical life here. Physical life is 90% mental and 10% physical. Okay, so it's all physical, it's all up here. So if you want to do something, if you want to be successful, you want to buy a new car, you have to set that intention, not only the intention, but the actions to follow it. So you have to have that mind frame. I'm going to buy that new car. Doesn't matter how long it takes or how I get there. That's the car I want. That's the car I'm going to buy. When you're in that mind frame, the universe goes, right, now we have someone here who actually wants to do something and doesn't just want to do it, is making the effort to do it. So guess what? We're going to put in their way of the ability to get that car. Okay? If you're in the middle group, you want that car, you're not prepared to do what it takes to get it, you're not going to get that car. You're going to get a car that you really don't want, but it's okay because you got it. Okay? So, yes, you need that positive mindset and you need the actions to back it up. Otherwise, you're just in the middle group. I have no clue what I want to do as well. Can you cover? Okay, we can cover that as well. So in the third group, I have no clue what I want to do. What are you going to do? You're going to, and this is not talking about students studying or anything, you're going to work at a supermarket or a petrol station. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? Absolutely nothing wrong. So don't take that the wrong way. You're going to end up as a cleaner. I'm trying to think of the lower paying everyday jobs, okay? The ones that people do just because they need to live, all right? Work at a fast food restaurant, those sorts of things. Those kind of people with those mindsets of, I don't know what I'm going to do or what I want to do, they tend to stay in those kinds of lower paying jobs, or the necessity staying alive jobs, for the rest of their life. They don't achieve much. They don't have any goals or ambitions. They don't really have the drive to get up and create the life that they want. They just sit around, they go to work 9 to 5, doing a job that they don't like, just to pay the bills, to keep a roof over their head, and food on the table. They don't really do anything else, okay? Now, they're not going to get anything that they want, because they don't want to make the effort to do it. They could be scared for change, they could be hesitant, or just surviving. Okay, now sometimes, and we've learned this over the last nearly 3 years now, that so many people were in jobs where they were just surviving. They hated it, and when the lockdowns and all came in, they realized just how much they hated their job and hated their life, and their life was nowhere because they didn't have any goals. They didn't know what they wanted to do, so they just stayed in a job that just put food on the table. And now they realize, well, hang on a second, I don't want to go back to that job or back to that life because it's not doing anything for me. So then they move into the third group, the second group, and then I know what I want now, but I just need to survive. Okay? So the people in the third group, the ones that don't know what they want, they're not going to be successful in life. Not at anything unless they step up. Okay? That's just, it sounds brutal, but it's just honesty. That's just what it is. Okay? So your mindset creates your reality. It creates what you want to achieve in life. I know what I want in life, and I know that as soon as I have the opportunity, because what I want costs a lot of money, so unless I win lotto or have a massive sponsor or something, it's not going to happen. But we do have an opportunity coming any minute now. Alliance, any minute now, please. Any minute now. Okay, we do have an opportunity that will allow me the opportunity to fulfill what it is I want to do for the rest of my life. So, if it doesn't come, this particular opportunity, or it comes later, much later than we expect, then you have to create the opportunity for yourself. It may not be exactly what you want, but it is something that is a stepping stone to get what you want. So it's like the first step. So what I want is to ride and train horses, which I did do for many years, and then I've taken a break to do my spiritual work and this with medbeds and spirituality. Then I want to go back to training and looking after horses. So if the funds don't come to do that, then I will have to go and get a job at a stable or at a farm, something like that, where I'm working with horses. From there, I may be able to get a riding position where I'm riding. Then I can go to another farm where they compete horses, and then I'll have the opportunity to ride and compete for that stable. Then I may get owners who give me their horses and pay me to compete the horses for them. Bingo, I'm back where I want to be. They're not my horses, not on my farm, but it's a stepping stone. Each step is another stepping stone to get where I want to be. So you really need to be able to have a plan, and this is where it comes into goals, and we'll talk about goals a bit later. This is where you need to have a plan and really be able to not only want to carry it out, but actually take the steps to carry it out, okay, to do it. Otherwise, you're stuck in the second group of I know what I want, but I'll just stay with here because I really can't get what I want, okay? So it's mindset plus action, which will make you successful, alrighty? Okay, alright, so, alrighty. We'll do one more topic and then we'll take a 5-minute break. Alright, mental resilience. Bush turkeys. I think that's what they're called. Alright, so mental resilience, what is it? Okay, simple. The ability to adapt to change mentally. Of course, mentally. Okay, the ability to adapt to change. So, you have, you're comfortable, okay? You're absolutely comfortable. And you're sitting in front of the TV in your nice big house, with your 2 cars, with your family, your husband. I think you're all women in this group. We'll just, I don't know. We'll just say your husband. Your husband comes home and says, darling, I want a divorce. Holy crap. Okay. Shit hits the fan. Pardon my French. What do you do now? You got 2 kids, 2 cars, a house, a dog, good job. What do you get? Well, rather, the wife doesn't have a job. Let's just say the wife is a stay-at-home mother. Stay-at-home parent. What are you going to do? Are you going to lose it? Are you going to have a nervous breakdown? Are you going to, oh my God, I can't do this. I just can't do this. Okay. What happens now? You have a big argument, a big fight. You go to your sister or your brother's place or your friend's place. Okay. You pack up the kids and you just walk out. Okay, what happens now? Where do you go now? What do you do? Do you go into panic mode, or do you go, okay, you know what? This is not the end of the world. Let's think about this. Okay, so we'll sit down with hubby if he's open to it, and we'll just talk. Okay, what went wrong? Blah, blah, blah. You know, how are we going to go about this? What are we going to do with the kids? What are we going to do with the dogs? What are we going to do with the house? Etc, etc. So now your life in 1 second has completely flipped. Completely. From being totally comfortable and happy to now everything is upside down. Everything. And you've got no clue what's going to happen. This is where mental resilience comes in. So if you're in that situation or something like that, something that changes, okay, it's just the ability to adapt to change. And you go into a breakdown, you are going to struggle like hell to get through the divorce or the situation, whatever it is. Being mental resilient simply means that, okay, not all is lost. Let's think about this from a different point of view. Okay, so I'll go and stay at my brother's house. Well, I certainly won't. Never want to see him again. I'll go and stay at a motel. Okay, I'll go and stay at a motel. I'll think about this. I'll spend the night just to digest what just happened and everything. And then tomorrow I'll call my husband and we'll get through this. In the meantime, I will look at other alternatives to stay. I will look at someone to take care of the kids while we go through this process. It's just the ability to adapt to change. And we are about Alliance. Are you listening? White hats? Treasury Department? You're listening out there somewhere? I know you are. I know you are. Okay. We are about to go through the biggest change that this planet has ever seen. In a positive way. Okay. A positive way. So how are we going to handle that? All of a sudden we've gone from living on the street or living in a motel to having a bank account mostly unlimited compared to what we would have ever imagined. How are we going to deal with that? Okay, so we're going from a lack to an absolute abundance. This is where resilience comes in as well. So it's not just going from positive to negative, it's also going from negative to positive. All right, so you need to be able to adapt to the different situations mentally. Another example, a car accident. Okay, just a minor car accident. I was sitting at the traffic lights. I just got takeaway. I just got lunch, and sitting at the traffic lights, and this young driver behind me, his car slipped out of gear and just hit the back of my car and just bent the boot, the rear bumper. I could have lost it. Oh my God, what am I going to do? My car, it's dented, it's damaged. Oh, I haven't had an accident before. What am I going to do? Instead, I looked at it and goes, you know what? It's just the rear bumper. I want lunch. Give me your license details. I've got hot lunch here. I'm not hanging around for this stuff. Exchange details. Go home. My mum hit the roof. Hit the roof. And I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? She says, a bloody idiot. And I said, it's just the rear bumper. It's nothing. We're insured. He's insured. Not a drama. Sit down, eat lunch. Okay? And then when the car got fixed, while it was getting fixed, we had a rental car. No drama. We lost nothing. Okay, so that's mental resilience, being able to adapt to change. Again, just like mental control, mental resilience, absolutely necessary. In the group, when this is finished, I will put in 2 books that I have read. I hate reading, but this person, I will read all his books all day long. Okay, absolutely fantastic guy. I'll put in the 2 books about mental resilience and negativity, etc., etc. Really good. I highly, highly recommend it. All right. So mental resilience, again, the ability to adapt to change. That's it. Okay. Important. Again, it comes down to mindset and controlling your thoughts. Mental resilience, mindset, controlling your thoughts. Okay, that's pretty much what it is. All right, so does anybody have any questions about that or anything they want to add before we take a break? It'll just be a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back and we'll do the second part. So I did have nine topics to cover, and we've only we've only covered 3. So I'll just choose the next important ones, and then we'll go from there and see how much time we've got left. Okay. All right, guys. So we'll take a break and be back in 5 minutes. Okay. Thanks, guys.